Vernisha Jones, and I am the president of the West Garfield Park Youth Council, which is sponsored by Fathers Who Care. Fathers Who Care is a nonprofit organization located on the west side of Chicago within the West Garfield Park community. Again, my name is Vernisha Jones, and I am the president of the West Garfield Park Youth Council. The West Garfield Park Youth Council is comprised of 30 youth, which has increasingly grown since last season, whose main focus and concern is youth leadership in our community within and involving the issues of violence prevention. We invite people from all over, especially youth, to come in and see what we're all about. Our show will be scheduled every Friday at 7 p.m. Again, that is
every Friday at 7 p.m.
We would like to encourage calls from people watching all over. 312-738-1060. Again, that number is 312-738-1060. Our show can also be viewed online at www.cantv.org/live. Again, that website is www.cantv.org/live. Well, everyone, I know you noticed this beautiful young lady sitting on the side of me. Instead of me introducing her, I will allow her to introduce herself and tell you guys a little bit about herself.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kiana Spearman. I'm the secretary of the West Garfield Park Youth Council. Yeah, 19 years old. No, I have working for the community, trying to get things done.
Thank you, Kiana, for being a part of our television show tonight and being a part of the West Garfield Park Youth Council.
My pleasure.
Again, my name is Vernisha Jones, and I am the president of the West Garfield Park Youth Council. You are now watching a live interactive call-in television show brought to you by CAN21. During the next 25 minutes, we are going to discuss the topic of how we as youth can make a change in our community. I invite our viewers watching to make calls and questions and comments at 312-738-1060. Again, the number is 312-738-1060. Our phone lines are open. So today's topic is making a difference and what's the next steps for youth to make a difference in our community. I have quite a few questions for you that we both will answer, having talking dialogue, talking about different stuff we need to do in the community to make a difference and what we in our perspective think needs to be done. So what resources are needed to engage young people? Like, what type of stuff do you feel young people want to see or want to do to start engaging them to, like, stop them from doing the different stuff that's going on?
Well, I personally think that young people will want fun activities, like, or even summer jobs will help them better themselves. Will help them better themselves. So, like, fun activities. When I say fun activities, I mean like stuff like youth getting together, going to like Six Flags, or just any fun activities for them to do, and like expanding their horizons, like getting them to do things that they never seen before.
Yeah. Well, in my opinion, resources I think that are needed to engage young people is basically that needed to engage young people is basically like how she said, finding stuff that young people like to do, such as going different places or different groups, like being a part of groups that you know are engaging in young people, such as the West Garfield Park Youth Council, where we come together every week and we talk about different issues and talk about peer pressure, talk about substance abuse, talk about drug use and all that type of stuff, and talk about the goods and the bads, talk about like what's safe, what's not safe, because at the end of the day, you got to look at it as you can't stop nobody from doing something they don't want to. Like I learned that from a meeting we had went to at Wisconsin. Like, you can't stop nobody from doing something they want to do. You can help try to prevent it or get them safer ways to go about it, but you like honestly can't stop nobody. So I feel like different programs, if you know, it's programs that kids can go out to that are engaging to young people and actually getting kids out to do fun stuff that you know kids will like. I feel like that would help engage the youth a lot more. So on to the next question. Why are young people involved? Why aren't young people involved in positivity in their community? Why are they not?
I believe young people are not positively involved in that community because if they don't see positive things happening around them.
Okay, can we take this caller real quick?
Okay, go ahead.
So we're gonna take this caller real quick, let her think about her answer for a minute, and then we're gonna get back to her. So thanks for calling. Question
No,
or
I like
comment?
to see youth do question, challenge things, especially issues that deal with quality of life issues that in terms of dealing with them. Like ask questions like, you know what, why youth like in my age compared to other much more affluent area, why are they working? You know, and compared to my neighbor, why they I'm not working? Why I cannot make money? You know, when I see certain things compared to my counterpart, I want certain things. Why are these certain things not in my neighbor? If it's a matter of racism, if it is a matter of racism, how can we correct these sort of things? I want things like everybody else have, like in their community.
Yeah, that's basically what we're trying to say. Like, we all looking at it as if, like, it's a lack of stuff that comes to our community that young African American can't get involved in because of our skin color or because of what we have on our background and stuff like that. So that's what we basically trying to do: get young people to come together and let the world know what they like. 'Cause that's a big thing. The reason why stuff's not happening how we want it to happen. Like, we don't have a voice. Don't nobody say nothing. Everybody feel like everything's supposed to just
But I
come
personally
to
don't
them.
feel that we don't have a voice. We technically don't have a voice, but then again we do. When I say we don't have a voice, it's because I feel that
Don't
we
nobody
don't have,
listen.
yeah, don't nobody listen. Like, they don't hear us out. So therefore, when we try to say things to them, it's not like they catch on real fast. It go in one ear, go out the other, and they think they. To me, I feel adults think it should go their way all the time. So they're not going to listen to what we have to say. They're going to go about it their way. But then again, I feel we have a voice because if we all come together and we make it as one group, if we come together as one group, we'll be heard. But us being separated and letting like the other races such as Mexicans and Puerto Ricans and everyone else come take over the community, then we're of course we're not gonna have a voice. We have to get in there somewhere.
That's true. Back to the question I was asking you. Why aren't young people involved positively in their community?
Well, like I was saying, I believe young people are not involved positively in their community because if they don't see anything positive happening around them, then they're more likely to do what they see. So if they see negative things, they'll do negative things, and that's mainly what's going on in communities.
So are you basically saying like the fact that we are around elected officials, we are around, different people that don't engage themselves in that, that's what makes us different. Like,
Yes,
it's who you surround yourself that,
yes,
and
it's what you see.
because I feel the same way. I feel like it's basically like if you see negative, you do negative. If you feel me, I know adults gonna say like woo off the beam. It ain't like that. You shouldn't go about what you see. You should do what you want to do. But I personally feel like it's what you see. If you see people doing drugs, we're not saying you're gonna automatically do it, but it's gonna be in your thought, peer pressure. It's gonna come across your mind. Should I try that because it don't seem that bad? They having fun doing it or
Right.
whatever. So I feel the same way. So I see we have another caller. We're gonna take this caller. Then we're gonna continue our questions. Stop talking.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
hello.
Yes, I'm calling to salute you all once again. This is Miss Griffin, and you hit on the subject that I'm concerned about. What is it that we as adults need to do besides telling children to sit down and shut up and pull your pants up? What can we do to enhance the quality? Like from on the south side where I live at for many, many years, you all are the best. I'm always praising you. West
Thank you.
Garfield Park Youth Council because you all give names of the drugs. You all can name things, not just point the finger and talk about just making things for conversation. You all are excellent.
Thank
And
you.
I
Thank you.
pray every day, every night, that our kids on the south side can nurture some of the things that you all are embracing. Because
Thank
I
you.
mean, because it's phenomenal. And I don't care who don't like what I'm saying. I stick by what I say. Whatever I say, I don't make no apologies for it. And keep up the good work. And thank you much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Well, she asked the question, what do we feel more mature people can do to help us? Basically, she agreed with what we're saying. And she basically saying, what do we think more mature, instead of telling us like, don't do this, pull up your pants, don't sell drugs. Well, like, what do you feel that they can do to help us without nagging us,
Well,
basically?
first off, I think it should start by setting an example. So if if the older people setting an example for the younger people, then they're more likely to follow. So say for instance, like you see, it's older people out in gangs or whatever, and they got their pants hanging. The younger people won't do that if they don't feel it's okay that the older people doing it. So first they have to set an example. Then it goes step by step. You can't just instantly jump into something.
Yeah.
They have to take it step by step. So if you take it step by step, then maybe the kids are turning around and listen. But then they also have to hear us out. So they also have to accept us for who we are and also listen to our opinions.
Well, I feel what was her question? She said, what can adults do? Well, I basically feel the same way she feel. I feel like adults could just basically start to hear us out, understand that everybody is not the same. We are not how you guys were when you grew up. It's like a whole bunch of stuff that's different. It's a lot of stuff going on. And just like she said, where you need to actually listen to people. What you said something about you need to actually understand that what we do, what we see. Exactly. So if you see an older guy, and like just say for instance, drug dealers, young boy, they see drug dealers, you feel me? We know, people that know better knows deep down inside this person don't have nothing. He probably been to jail multiple times. He probably, you feel me, stuff going down the wrong route. But what a young person see is this man got multiple cars. He got people looking, like people that's underneath him. He get to tell people what to do. Yeah. So they looking at it as, I want to do that. Yeah. So like us knowing better, being the people we done came under, we know it's not right, but it's like all kids ain't the same. So I feel like you should just talk to youth and understand what they're going through and what needs to be done. And like I just gotta say, all young people are different. Everybody ain't the same. So you can't tell one person one thing and think the next person is gonna respond the same way. Exactly. It's not gonna happen. Next caller.
Hello?
Caller. Hello?
Yes, my question is why are so many young folks actively involved in getting high, hanging out in corners, and just resulting into negative behaviors? Why are they doing it?
The question was, why are so many young people actively involved in drugs, drinking, such, so on, so on? Well, in my opinion, I feel like a lot of people are involved in that type of stuff because it's a trend going on right now. Everybody's doing it. It's something that people look at as a stress reliever, something to have fun with. You go to a party with young people, that's all you see people doing. So if you're a person that never drunk or smoked before, you go into a party and that's all you see, that's what you tend to lean into. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's stuff that's going on. So everybody looking at it is, I'm going to try the new trend, and that's what it is. And just like with liquor, it's easily accessible. You can go to a liquor store, you can get it from your parents' house. Like, it's easy accessible, and it's something that everyone is doing. So that's why I feel like why so many young people are doing it. It's very accessible, and it's something that's going around. You want to take the next caller? You want to answer?
Take the next caller.
We can take the next caller.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Can you turn down your TV a little bit?
Okay, I'm moving away from my TV. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I got a question. This conversation that you all are having are regarding, is it bridging the generational gap with the youth and the adults?
Yes, it's basically talking about what we can do next in our perspective to make a difference instead of always calling and saying that the reason why we're doing certain things is because of adults.
Okay, well, first of all, I think before anything can happen, I think that the youth need to learn how to respect the adults, because I think that's one of the main problems, and that's the reason why a lot of adults don't want to reach out to the youth because of how disrespectful they are. This generation is so disrespectful to adults, and they don't want to listen to anybody. They don't even listen to their parents at home. So how do you reach the youth and build the generational gap if you cannot even reach them because of the amount of disrespect they have towards adults, their own parents they have disrespect towards? So how do you reach youth like that? Want to hear your answer, okay?
Okay.
You want to answer first, or you want me to answer?
Well, you can answer.
Well, I feel like you said, all kids ain't the same. Some kids will take it a certain way, some kids won't. You can't stop after that one child and say, I'm not going to help another youth because I tried to help one person and he didn't want to hear me out. So I feel like you have to just know how to go about a person, because personally, I know it's some people that it could be the most disrespectful kids, but it's that one adult that can actually get to them just by what they say. So I feel like all kids are different, so you have to go back how you like. You got to get to know a person and know how they respond to stuff and know how to talk to them. And just like with my mama with kids at her school, they'll curse out every child in the school, but when it comes to her, they'll respect her like with their most hardest. So I feel like it's just certain people and just like we were talking about before, it's certain people that just have a vibe on them. Like it's certain people, a person to come to them and try to talk to them, and they don't take it how another person will.
It's just, I just feel that it's like you said, it's the certain vibe that adults get off. So like certain people will respect you to the point to where I feel that young people would respect you to the point to where, to the respect you give them. Even though I know you're always supposed to respect your elders, but adults have to look at it as if you're respected by an adult, you give respect. You don't give respect if you're not getting it. That's how I personally feel. But then again, you have to think about what your mother, your daddy, your grandmother, and everybody else taught you. Respect your elderly people. Of course that's the case. But I also, like I said, I feel that if they don't give respect, you're not supposed to. I'm not saying you're not supposed to give it, but if you're not getting the respect, why return it? So if they cursing you out, of course you're gonna say, what? Thank you, ma'am. I don't feel the need for that. But I'll just keep going to the next caller.
Can we have another caller?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, how are you?
Good.
Good. I have a question. Pardon me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I have a question. I'm a Christian. I'm 60 years old. I grew up in the civil rights movement in the South with my parents, with my neighbors, and things have certainly changed. You know, I recognize that. But can you make a comment about how many young people see religion, and I just kind of use that as a broad thing, but how many young people, like for example, depend on or verbalize that they believe God will help them through a lot of problems that young people have. I know older people may do it more, but can you just talk, about your experience, with young folks and them using as Christianity or religion, to help deal with these problems? And I'll hang up. Thank you.
Okay. Also, I think her question basically was, do young people still follow
religion?
Yeah, like do they still look to God when problems come across? Yeah, I feel like it's still young people that if they're going through stuff, they pray here and there. I feel like it's still open, but you feel me? Everybody not the same. People go about things different ways. You might have a person that don't pray, but then they listen to gospel music if they're going through it. So I do feel like young people still go to God when they need stuff.
Right.
Do you want to answer that? We can go to the next caller.
Children will be children. Adults should be adults. Adults should be carrying the torch where they can respect kids no matter what the situations are. And we are not doing that. We senior citizens are very rude to kids, even when they try to be church members. These kids are human beings. That's our generation now. And we need to learn from them and things that we can help them with. Make sure we help them. But you got to go in there with a smile on your face, not that anger and that bitterness. We have to help the kids so they can help us. Right now, we got the Gospel Fest going on now. Few kids know when that Gospel Fest was started, because I worked in human service, and it started at 640 North LaSalle Street on the Bend Branch. But the kids don't know that. We're too busy talking about all this other stuff, and the kids are excelling very well, going to higher learning, and you need to continue to praise them along when you ask God because state leadership is Reverend Jones, and he do a phenomenal job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling, and thank you for the compliments and noticing what we do. And she basically was saying that she feel like adults do need to listen to what kids are saying and need to have respect, just like they feel we need to have respect to them. So it's basically what you were saying. I see we have another caller. Damn.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. I want to comment on what the young lady just said that was just on the phone, and also on what Kiana said. Miss Kiana, I'm watching you on TV and I'm listening to you, and I heard you make a comment saying that you feel like if the adults don't give any respect, then if they don't respect you, then you're not going to give them respect. First and foremost, I want to say, because growing up, we was always taught that no matter what, that we was taught that we have to respect our elders, period. You know, and if they step out of line, the same way I've always taught my children, if an adult step out of line with you, it's not your place to put them in their place or to be disrespectful or anything, because you're being raised to always be respectful to adults. It's your place to take it to your parent or whatever and let them handle it. Nowadays, kids don't do that. And I'm talking about kids all the way from grammar school. I work at a grammar school. These kids are starting off as early as kindergarten and first grade, where they're disrespecting adults, and it's all because they're not being taught anything at home. You know, so it's hard to be respectful for us adults to even respect a child that every time you look around, that child is either using bad language, being disrespectful, acting like you're not standing there. You know, it's really hard. And to listen to what the other young lady said, you know, I agree with a lot of things she said, but I just feel like, you know, it's a lot going on with the parenting of these kids that are so disrespectful, from little babies growing up. These children are disrespectful. So how do you respect these children? As a matter of fact, you grow to dislike them more than anything because of the disrespect that they show towards adults. Comment on that now.
Well, she basically, well, I wasn't saying that, but basically, you can answer that one.
I don't comment on.
What she say, like, why is it that, like, the reason why they adults act like that is because of you, how they act and how they feel.
And I totally find that fair. Of course, kids, like she said, it started in the home. If the parents not teaching the kids anything, then of course they're going to go out into the real world and think they can treat adults like they treat their parents at home. Of course, that's the case.
We can take the next caller. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, I'm the same thing I'm saying is mostly what the lady just said that got off the phone. When the young lady on the right was saying that, you know, with adults, you know, you don't give respect unless you give respect. I'm 57 years old, and I grew up where I don't give a care what adults say. You know, you don't disrespect adults. And then I'm sitting up here looking at y'all on TV with the little spurts. You know what I'm saying? So that let me know that y'all really ain't heeding to it. You know what I'm saying? I have a daughter. She's 20 years old. And she would never disrespect an adult. Never. You get on the bus going to work, they cuss. People old enough to be their grandkids, grandmamas, I mean, is on the bus. Great-grandmamas, they don't care. You know, so I don't know what to say about the kids nowadays with this, but it's not right. There's no excuse for it.
Well, I see
Any
and how I
comment?
felt about the situation. I feel it's not right to talk to youth certain type of way, same as it's not right to talk to adults certain type of way. And I was taught up, you don't disrespect an adult, so that's my point, and I don't disrespect adults, so that's my point of view on it.
Next question.
Well, we want everybody to know about our West Garfield Park Youth Council, which is located at 4540 West Washington, Chicago, Illinois, where we meet every Monday from 4:30 to 6:30. The phone number is 773-287-5821. You can also view us online at www.fatherswhocare.org, where you guys could come and talk to us or call us to let us know anything. And if you're just not tuning in, tonight's guest is Kiana Spearman, and you can view us next week, same place, same time, where we will be discussing the topic of substance abuse in our community. Well, thank you guys for watching tonight's show, and have a great night. Good night.
Good night.